simulations to wear the sweater vest. How you doing? Look like Mr. Rogers. He was the sensei.
So it was 80, it's like,
Back again. I slept here.
yeah, I was gonna say, you need to wait a couple minutes, is there timing, or do you want to start out? I think it was part right now, I think it's so straight down, I'm worried about it.
Test, test. 1, 2, 3.
Thank you.
And the video's not a thing, so it's actually better. I saw the video of the video.
Is this real? I don't know if I can hack it. Oh, it was a
Remember like when pets came out, fugitive, you got shot, you know, they stopped before, like, James Ford became a former pilot, something happened to, was it wrong? Yeah, sick or something, so they stopped that part, they became former pilot.
Are you still in the city?
Yes. You just asked me that.
I didn't hear what you said.
I said yes.
So you missed training?
We gotta move some of these. Good afternoon. My name is Robert Clark, Supervisory Deputy U.S. Marshal for the Eastern Pennsylvania Violent Crimes Fugitive Task Force. After an intense 2-day search for escapee Alleem Bordan, I am pleased to announce at 2 p.m. this afternoon, Bordan was taken into custody in Johnstown, Pennsylvania. The arrest operation included investigators from the Marshals Fugitive Task Force in Philadelphia, the Marshals Western Pennsylvania Fugitive Task Force, the Johnstown Police Department, Cambria County Sheriff's Office, and the Pennsylvania State Police. After eluding investigators in West Philadelphia on Tuesday afternoon, our task force investigators developed information Bordan was picked up by 2 known Philadelphia associates Tuesday evening, and these individuals drove Bordan directly to Johnstown, Pennsylvania. Bordan has previous criminal history in Cambria County, so the possibility of Bordan fleeing to Western Pennsylvania was already being proactively investigated by members of our task force. Immediately after developing information Bordan had fled Philadelphia, a team of U.S. Marshals traveled to Johnstown to brief the fugitive investigation to the Marshals Western District of Pennsylvania Fugitive Task Force. At 11:15 a.m. today, an apartment we believe Bordan could be hiding was surrounded at the Oakmont Homes located in the unit block of Wagner Street in Johnstown, Pennsylvania. This apartment was investigated with negative results. However, information was developed that Bordan was at this apartment from Tuesday night until 9 a.m. yesterday morning. At that time, we believe Bordan reached out to another woman who had previous ties to Philadelphia. This woman resided in the 300 block of David Street in Johnstown, Pennsylvania. At 2 p.m., the residence on the 300 block of David Street was surrounded by multiple law enforcement agencies. After knocking and announcing their presence, a woman answered the door, granted investigators permission to search, and confirmed Bordan was presently in the home. A search was conducted, and it was determined Bordan had secured himself in the attic crawl space. Deputy marshals breached the crawl space entry point, and Bordan had to be forcibly removed from the attic. Upon being removed, Bordan was placed in restraints and transported to the Cambria County Prison, where he awaits removal back to Philadelphia. The expeditious arrest of Alleem Bordan could not have occurred without the outstanding collaboration of information between Philadelphia Police's East Detective Division and our Fugitive Task Force. This Fugitive Task Force has some of the most talented and dedicated marshals and task force officers in the country. Our investigative experience has now resulted in the 7th arrest of a fugitive wanted for escape over the past year. As I mentioned before, the Marshals Service Eastern Pennsylvania Violent Crimes Fugitive Task Force will always be here to support our state and local partners, and especially the Philadelphia Police Department. When warrants are issued for persons charged with violent crimes, the public should take comfort in knowing that there is a professional, dedicated investigative fugitive task force that specializes in finding people who do not want to be found. At this point, I'll take any questions you have.
Did he say anything after you removed him? Did he say anything to you guys? Has he said anything?
No, he made some utterances that he had seen the news over the past day. He had mentioned some of the news reports from last night, but that was about it.
Was he putting up a fight? Was anyone in the house kind of apprehensive to let you guys in, or did they kind of know it was up?
No, the female associate at the residence was very cooperative, immediately confirmed he was in the residence, granted our investigators permission to search, and gave us full access to the home.
It seemed like he's had some help since he first got away from custody. Do you know how many people, are you guys looking into that kind of assisted him to get from here to there?
Well, our deputies are just coming back. They'll actually be back tomorrow. They'll write full reports in their interviews with the subjects that drove Alleem Bordan out to Johnstown. That'll be forwarded over to East Detectives Division, and they'll make the decision whether or not they want to prosecute for aiding and abetting in this escape. At this point, I don't know of anyone else who's being charged, but surely that could change in the future. That'll be up to the police department.
Was he armed?
He was not.
Do we know when he lost his handcuffs? I know for the first two videos on Monday had him with handcuffs, but by Tuesday, were we thinking they were gone?
We don't know exactly when, but I can tell you that when he left that residence on Hope Street, he was taken over to that residence at 5300 West Columbia Avenue. So it's probably a fair assumption to say that he lost his handcuffs there, because the next time we had eyes on him, he was still at that residence.
And we spoke to people in that neighborhood who say that that house had a lot of squatter issues, drug issues in there. Was anyone there going to be charged? I know you had said maybe not.
I think it's fair to say that that description of the house is accurate. However, I don't believe anyone in the house at this point is going to be charged.
Was he remorseful?
He didn't say he was remorseful. He didn't say he was sorry. Our deputies didn't get that notion. He didn't express any remorse, as far as I'm concerned.
Connection to Johnstown?
He had previous criminal history there. He was arrested, I can't remember what year it was. I believe there was a fleeing and looting, maybe an assault case out there, and possibly an escape as well. So he definitely knew the Johnstown area, and we know that when he was picked up, the first thing he said was, take me to Johnstown, PA.
What kind of tools did you guys use to capture him? Dogs, helicopter, infrared, anything?
I don't want to go into the investigative tools, and I haven't really been briefed on exactly what equipment was there, but it's typical standard equipment is protective gear, level 4 shields, everyone wearing body armor, helmets, those types of things, breaching equipment.
Now, we've gotten to know you pretty well, I guess, in the last year, 7th arrest. I know they're all different circumstances, but I guess what is that saying? What has to change here, because this keeps happening?
Yeah, I don't want to comment on how these guys are escaping or the circumstances. What I can say that we've arrested 7 people, 7 out of 8. The one that we did not catch was an individual that passed through here and just made a brief stop. So everyone that was in Philadelphia or originated from Philadelphia, we were able to apprehend. It's just a talented group of guys downstairs, ton of experience, super dedicated. I couldn't be prouder of the task force officers, the deputy marshals that are here. We have some outstanding detectives from the Philadelphia Police Department, as well as police officers assigned here. And these are just motivated individuals. When cases like this arise, they are just dedicated to bring that person in. And they work day and night, and it shouldn't be underestimated how much our guys work and how much East Detectives work getting that intelligence package that we received. The reason that we were able to find that house on West Columbia Avenue within the first 5 or 6 hours of getting the case is because East Detectives did such a good job investigating the escape up until the point they got the warrant and then handed over the intelligence to us.
You talked about in the past the need for tips and wanting tips. Did
Correct.
tips help you get to Johnstown? Just talk to us about how many you got, how that's helped this investigation.
We've had a couple dozen tips. The tips were absolutely crucial in this investigation. I think there were a good 2 or 3 that were very crucial. There were a lot of lookalike tips. We had tips everywhere from here to Delaware to New Jersey. I think I saw Alleem Bordan. He looks like an individual that was on the train. Those never panned out, but we surely had a couple tips. I think I mentioned it yesterday that were crucial. And anytime we have an investigation like this, one of the first things we want to do is reach out to the public and say, we're here for your tips, because we'd rather take 1,000 tips that don't amount to anything than miss that one tip that could break open the investigation for us.
Can you remind us again, is he still in Johnstown, or is he already back?
He's in Johnstown. We did not transport him back. He's in the Cambridge County Prison right now.
And will he be transported back here?
Eventually, he will be. That'll be up to the district attorney's extradition unit when they're going to bring him back.
What additional charges is he facing?
None that I know of, just the escape warrant. I don't believe there were any other charges while he was on the run the past 72 hours. So as far as I'm aware, it's just the escape warrant that was issued the night that he fled.
And also, just to clarify, you said he was, picked up by 2 known associates after everything in West Philly. Did
Correct.
he have access to a phone? Like, how was he contacting, it seems like I said earlier, he had help along the way. How was he getting into contact with these people?
We believe that he probably borrowed communication devices from these associates, from people that he was staying with. I think it's fair to say that he was able to borrow devices. I'm not sure whether he had a device himself or was in sole possession of one, but I surely believe he had access to communication devices through people that he was associating with.
Is this job fun for you?
It's fun. I love what I do. I have a great group of guys downstairs. And these guys are just so dedicated in finding people, and some of them have been here a long time, so we have that experience. Some of the guys that I've been personally with downstairs 13 years, so we've done everything from crimes against children to escapes to high profile murders to shooting at law enforcement officers. So I think it's the best job in the world being assigned to a Marshal Service Fugitive Task Force. I'm very fortunate that I've been here so long and have a great investigative team, great management, and the Marshal Service, I think they're the best in the world at finding people who don't want to be found. They really are. We have a great training program. We have great investigative training, and that's all we do is find people. And it's just a great agency to work for, and I couldn't be prouder to be with the Marshals now, well over 20 years. Anything else? All right, thank you, everyone. I appreciate it.
Todd, do you have pictures and a video?
I am. So I'm going to go back downstairs and I'm going to try to put together all this in the brief press release so I can send it out. There's a couple pictures, maybe a short video. I should have them. I'm going to have them out before I leave, so I'm hoping.